Hello and welcome to another Star Wars review here today. We're going to be reviewing Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I know this came out almost a month ago now, but I decided to do Phasma first, and so that was the review I got out first because they both came out on the same day, and so I had to read that one, and then I had to read this one, and as you guys know, books are a little bit longer than movies, so forgive me for this being a little late, but I'm here today. We're reviewing this book. Before I get into it, I have to say a spoiler alert for this book. I'm not going to try to spoil everything, but there will definitely be some spoilers in here, so consider yourselves warned on all things spoilers. Also, we have a new Facebook page. It's facebook.com/ccinemareviews page, so definitely check that out. And we're on Twitter at ccinemareviews. So if you don't get notified every time I put up a new video here on YouTube, follow the channel on any of those platforms, and I will post every time I put up a new video. Last thing is, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this review and want to see more videos like this in the future. Let's get into it. So Leia, Princess of Alderaan. This one was written by Claudia Gray, and you guys, Claudia Gray just gets Star Wars, and she gets Leia. She's written 3 books in Star Wars in canon so far. She's written Lost Stars, which I don't know if I reviewed that. I probably should review that. It's a great book. She's written Bloodline, which is absolutely amazing, and she's written this book. So this book just continues her streak of knocking it out of the park in the Star Wars universe. This book is really good. It gives us some really, maybe not much needed, but much appreciated information and stories about Bail Organa and Bria Organa. And up to this point in Star Wars canon, we haven't really, heard or seen a lot about Bail's better half, and it's really well done. And we get to see a little bit more about how the Alderaanian monarchy works and what their responsibilities are and things like that. This gives us the youngest Leia we've ever seen in Star Wars. This is before the events of Episode 4. She's 16 in this book, which is fine. We get to see her first love, and that's something that's pretty cool, because the dude is like a stand-up dude, and you get a really great exchange with Bria Organa and Leia, where Bria tells her, hey, Kier Damati, who is Leia's first love, she's like, Kier is cool. He's a very suitable guy, but sometimes it's not so bad to go out with a scoundrel here and there. And I was like, ooh, wink, wink, nod, nod, and it even hints that Bria Organa herself, went out with a scoundrel, and that's pretty cool to me. It's not just like, oh, I'm a queen, I gotta be with the very, sophisticated, nice people. No, you can have some fun in your life. We are also introduced to Amilyn Holdo, who is Laura Dern's character in Episode 8, so this is definitely connected to Episode 8. That's why it's a journey to the Last Jedi book. We also get a planet called Crate, which I'm pretty sure is that crystal planet that we see in the Episode 8 new trailer that we just got. So yeah, this is definitely connected to Episode 8, which is great in my opinion. But most of all, the biggest thing in this book is the story of how Leia finds out that her parents are founding members of the rebellion and how she joins up. And it's a really well written story as to how she figures it out, and how she her parents don't want her to join up, but then they realize that, hey, she could be very valuable to us, and she is very valuable to us because they're her parents and all that stuff, but valuable to them as a part of the rebellion. We get a great few 2 or 3 interactions between Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Leia, which is great because we find out that Tarkin knows, he pretty much knows, even before Episode 4, that Leia and the Organas and Alderaan are a big part of the rebellion, and he knows, and it's something that creates so much tension in those scenes, and it's really well done. Claudia Gray just totally kills it in this book. So Leia finds out about her parents and the rebels because of her trials. Now, once she turned 16, Leia had these things called the trials of her mind, which turned out to be apprentice legislator, which is pretty much the Galactic Senate, but like for the juniors, if you will. It's like it's just like the next level down from the Galactic Senate. They still like did stuff, in legislator, and they still did stuff that mattered, but it didn't matter as much as what the Galactic Senate was doing. She also had a trial of the body, which was she had this pathfinding group where she is supposed to climb, I believe it's the tallest mountain on Alderaan, and but she had to have practice obviously for that. So she went on this pathfinding uh, uh, group with some other people from the legislature, and it was really cool in my opinion. She also, the third one was a trial of the heart, which she accomplished by doing mercy missions to worlds that were being oppressed by the empire, and that was pretty cool. Through the apprentice legislature, she meets Kier Damati, her first love, and Amelin Haldo, who we'll see in episode 8. And as a result of the apprentice legislator and her and the her pathfinding group, which both Kier and Amelin Haldo were both they were part of both of those. She spends a lot of time with Kier, and that's as a result of spending so much time, they fall for each other, and it's a really nice story, a nice little love story between the two characters. She also spends a lot of time with Amelin Haldo and forms a really good friendship with her. And Amelin Haldo even saves her like 2 or 3 times throughout this book, which is really cool, because one time she saved her using astrology, and it was like totally mind blowing. I was like, that's amazing, Claudia. Great job. Through her mercy missions, though, is where she finds out about the Rebel Alliance and her parents, because she's going to the places that are really, suffering, but she also finds out, she finds out some horrible things. Like there's a moon of Naboo, which is where Padme Amidala was from. There was a moon of Naboo which had mining on it, and the miners didn't have the proper equipment, so they were dying because of accidents and things like that. So she takes the proper equipment to them, and she finds out that the Empire, the Imperials were taking the equipment and selling it for themselves. And so she goes to this guy on the moon who had been there for a long time, and he was part of the Empire, but he recognized her, and it was so crazy because he recognized her, and because apparently she looks very much like Padme Amidala, because he was around back then. And so it's very heavily hinted that he would have told Palpatine about Leia, being adopted and maybe potentially being the daughter of Padme Amidala. But what happens is that dude gets blown up by one of Saw Gerrera's partisans, and so you have a really, really, not a come to Jesus moment, but you have a really eye-opening moment for Leia, where it's like, dude, she's literally outside of his building when the partisan blows him up. And so it's like, wow, this is intense. And that even gets puts more emphasis on why Bail and Bria Organa don't want Leia to be part of the rebellion, because it is so dangerous. Because not only do you have to worry about the Empire, but sometimes you have to worry about the other rebels, and that the partisans, that could be really scary. But she and the parents really don't want her involved. To me, it's kind of like the Obi-Wan, I'll withhold information from you because I want to protect you, things like that. But Leia's so stubborn, but she helps anyway. And actually, towards the end of this book, she actually saves like a fleet. She saves a full fleet of of cruisers and rebellion ships because she is so stubborn, and it's a really, really cool thing that she does, because she goes head to head with Tarkin in a lying contest and comes out the victor. It's absolutely great. Bringing this video to an end, I'm spoiling this book heavily because Keir Damati dies. Now, I understand why this could be, oh, wow, big shock. Leia's first love dies. Because he's not around in episode 4, He's not around in episode 5, episode 6, after that. He's not around, so it's understandable that he would exit her life just during the course of this book or at the end of the book. But the way he dies trying to protect Leia, because like I said, when she saves that fleet, she has to go to the system that the fleet is in in order to not risk making a call or not sending a message to them, because that could be intercepted by the Empire. So she goes there to risk her life, and she tells, she's like, hey, you guys got to get out of here. The Empire's on their way here. They're going to come here. They're going to destroy you. And then that will be a big blow to the rebellion. But as she's doing that, she tells Keir Damati where she's going, the system that she's going to, and he follows her there, and he goes there, and what we find out is he tried to give up the rebellion, which is something that's crazy because he believed in it. He believed in it in his we get throughout the book that he believes that the Empire is bad, that Palpatine is a horrible person, but he wanted to give up the rebellion. He was getting information on them. He was getting information on them in order to save Alderaan, which is something that's so, like, it just grabs you right in the feels, because this is a guy who gave his life to protect Leia, but more importantly to protect Alderaan, because he was going to give up the rebellion, because he thought that, hey, if I give up the rebellion here, maybe the Empire will spare Alderaan, because he knew that that the Empire was capable of horrible war crimes beyond a doubt, and so he just wanted to save his planet. But and Leia has to lie to him as he's dying in her arms. He has to lie to him about protecting Alderaan, because he makes her promise that, hey, if it comes down to it, you pick Alderaan over the rebellion. I don't want that to happen. And he lies to her. She lies to him. She says, yes, I promise I'll pick Alderaan over the rebellion. And it gets you right in the feels, because you know that she lied to him, because she picked the rebellion. In episode 4, she saw Alderaan die, and it's something that's really great. It made me personally feel, it just gets you right in the feels, but it made me feel so bad for Leia, because over the course of her life, as far as we know in canon, I don't know what's going to happen in episode 8, but over the course of her life before then, she has lost everything. She has lost family. She has lost friends. She has lost, Han Solo. She has lost her son. She lost Ben Solo to the Empire and to the First Order. So it makes me feel really bad for the character of Leia, because yes, you can look at the original trilogy and be like, oh, she's a great strong character, she's a woman, she's smiling, she's having fun with Han, and it's great. But then you really think about it, and all she's lost and everything that she's lost is a result of the Empire, is a result of her defiance against the Empire and her wanting that better life for the people of the galaxy. And that's something that's just Leia's an amazing character, you guys. But that's my thoughts on it. I want to know what you think about this book, if you've read it, or my review. If you haven't read it, please go check out this book. I think that this book is an absolute must read. If it's not a must read it's not, to me, it's not an essential book to the Star Wars, to the Star Wars galaxy, to the story, the overall story of Star Wars. But to me, I think there's nobody who enjoys Star Wars who doesn't like the character of Princess Leia. And so, since, in my opinion, everybody likes her and everybody should like her, read this book. You'll get some great insight to her. You'll get some great adventures with her. You'll get some good adventures with Aberlin Haldo. You'll get some Tarkin in there. You get Bail Organa, Bria. I think that you guys should absolutely check this book out however you can. Audible it is great. I did that. It's just a great listen. Read it definitely. I'm just saying, you guys, this book is one of the best books in canon, and Claudia Gray can do no wrong in my eyes. So yeah, definitely check this book out, but I want to know what you think about it, so definitely tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below or on Facebook. Again, See Cinema Reviews page on Facebook and on Twitter at See Cinema Reviews. I just want to have a discussion on this really, really amazing book, so tell me your thoughts wherever you want. And thank you for watching this, and may the Force be with you.